Going to Facebook.
I both have Facebook and YouTube pulled up.
And nothing?
Not yet. It takes like a full minute. Okay, we're live on Facebook.
All right. So, hey guys, time for Q&A with the Ask Dr. Ernst Show. How this works, again, I've got my laptop here. I have my assistant, Aliona. We are here to answer your questions. Next time, I'm going to bring a speaker and play Jeopardy music. Do, 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 do. We need to wait for you to log in so that we can see your questions. But I do have a topic for today because I got yanked off Facebook and Instagram immediately, and YouTube, for putting up the parasite problem conversation from last night. So if you want to ask questions about parasites, let's do it. If you want to go deep into any health question, let's do it. I sit here in my studio every Tuesday for half an hour, and I'm waiting for you. There's my Instagram camera. There's my Facebook and YouTube camera. What do you guys want to know? While I wait for those people to hop on and ask their questions, did we get censored yesterday? You better believe it. I think it took them 20, 25 minutes, and I got these notifications saying you were in violation of community guidelines for discussing parasites and how to get rid of them. And so what did they do? Yank. So I had a bunch of you say, Dr. Ernst, I can't make the live talk. Can I please watch it online? So we said, sure, we'll stream it like we're streaming this. And then as soon as we finished the live stream, by the time I got home, it was pulled. So that should tell you something, shouldn't it? It should tell you that they do not want you to know how to get rid of parasites. So my topic of conversation, until someone is brave enough to ask their question, is this. Do you want to get rid of parasites? And the answer is yes. Do you want to... Do we have a question? We have a question. Who is it?
What are Debbie?
Okay, Debbie says...
What are your thoughts of gel in your bone-on-bone knee?
What are my thoughts of gel in bone-on-bone knee? I'm trying to think what she's asking. Like the injectable gels? Debbie, can you clarify a little bit? Are you talking about that treatment where they inject that blue goo to a bone-on-bone knee to try to separate the space? My thoughts are, I hate it. That is an outside-in approach. So again, remember, medicine says I have something in a vial, a jar, a pill, or whatever that I'm going to put into your body, and that will fix you. Why do I hate it so much? Well, those gels are toxic. They can temporarily force the space because, again, if you put a gel inside a knee that's bone to bone, will the bones separate apart? Sure. Will you feel good for a period of time? Yes. But what happens when that gel dissolves down? Back to bone, back to pain again. And there's the prescription. So I hate it with a passion. Now, do I like other more holistic ways of getting a bone-to-bone knee to regenerate? Absolutely I do. In the world of functional medicine and regenerative medicine, we can, if not too far bone-to-bone, get that cartilage tissue to come back. It's a whole nother subject, whole nother question. It involves using a machine called a RegenWave. It involves using something called a knee track. It involves getting the knee physically adjusted, and it involves stimulating stem cells and using mesenchymal techniques to get that joint tissue to grow back.
Another one, can you give us the protocol for the cleanse?
Can we give a protocol for the cleanse? As long as you tell me what cleanse you want to do, because I don't know what cleanse they're asking. Parasites? I don't know. Let's ask. Who was it?
DMB 9349.
DMB 9349. So I would need to know what cleanse you want to know about. And let's do this real quick. Should we cleanse? No. Should we chelate and detox? Yes. What is cleansing, guys? Cleansing is like what you do every morning. You cleanse your mouth by brushing it. You cleanse your skin by washing it. Cleansing is superficial and something that you should do but not do. So like a detox is a way different concept, or a chelation, a way different concept. If I'm trying to get rid of parasites, I would do antiparasitic detoxing plus a binding to get that stuff out. I wouldn't do a cleanse. But let's see what kind of cleanse they want to know about. Where was that? On Instagram?
On YouTube.
Oh, YouTube. Okay.
Monica's asking, how do you feel about sardine fasting?
Sardine
To
fasting?
correct cellular dysfunction for type 2 diabetes.
Hold on, say that again.
Sardine fasting consistently to correct cellular dysfunction for type 2 diabetes.
So I mean, if you're talking about what I think you're talking about, a sardine fast would mean you only eat sardines or you fast from those sardines. So if you're doing it the way I think you are, you're saying a sardine fast would be like, I only eat sardines to reset my metabolism. Hate that with a passion, because you're not fasting at all. Fasting by definition is no food, not even sardines, no food. So people who are like, I'm doing a protein shake fast. No, you're not. I'm doing a cucumber watermelon juice fast. No, you're not. Fasting by definition is no food. Liquids only. So if you blend those sardines, mix them with water and drink that, still not a fast. So sardine fasting, never heard of it till today, honestly. Like, I'll be honest. I've never heard of someone doing a sardine fast. But water fasting, broth fasting, absolutely love it for metabolic reset. What was the next question?
And she followed up with, only eat sardines when I'm hungry.
Yeah, I understand. But don't eat anything when you're hungry. Drink bone broth, drink water with electrolytes, and push through the hunger. Guys, hunger is natural, but most of you aren't actually hungry. You're thirsty. You should be able to tame that beast. I can go 5 days with water fasting or broth fasting. I will be hungry around 72 hours in. What you think is hunger in that first day is not hunger. It's just a signal that you need more water, usually. I got one here. Well, Lisa just said, good morning. Good morning, Lisa. So I like that we're getting better engagement faster, yes. Right? Like, I like the Q&A faster this time. So why should we not cleanse? Because it's the same thing as taking a shower. Now, if you were to think about this. If you were to take a shower with water and your hands, you're just la 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 la. That's a cleanse. Now, if you add soap, that's a binding agent, right? It's a surfactant. It breaks down oils. And then you wash with your hands, we're doing better. But if you wash with a sponge or a loofah or a washcloth, now you're even better. And I always thought it was fascinating, right? Think about this. Aliona, let me ask you a question. When you wash your car, do you put the soap on your hand and wash your car with your hand? But we do that with our bodies, don't we? Like, most people take a shower like, and then they're like, would you wash your car like this? No, you would use a rag. So when you take a shower, use a rag. It's called a washcloth or a loofah or whatever. And you should be lathered. Like, when I take a shower, I'm literally like, until I feel like my skin's about to come off, because I want to clean. And I use surfactants to remove debris and oils. And that's how I clean my body. So I say this to say, most of us are just doing everything wrong. We don't even take showers right.
Yeah. Davey followed up again. But yes, he was talking about the protocol for the parasites.
Protocol for parasites. Yeah, so that's my topic. Here's the challenge on protocols. I would need to know what parasite you have. Is it a protozoa? Is it a hookworm, roundworm, a helminth, a tapeworm? So I can't give protocols on Q&As. I just physically can't. I can give you concepts, though. Okay, concept number 1 of my parasite talk last night. Everyone has parasites. Just deal with it, okay? Even you watching me right now, you have some versions of parasites. Number 2, that's not always a problem. We need a small amount of them. But when they become too big by volume, then it's a problem. Number 3, you have to get tested, okay? I like blood and organic acid testing for parasites. I talked about this last night. Why do I hate stool testing? Because most people would fail a stool test, and then you're going to freak out, and you're going to say, oh my God, I have parasites. But even people who have normal blood and normal urine fail stool tests for parasites. So I like to look at the immune response. How is your body responding to those parasites? And then that tells me what we can do.
Purified with pinworms.
Pinworm, so we know it's a pinworm. Okay, so if you're guaranteeing it's a pinworm, how did we know it was a pinworm is my first question. Was that a stool test? Because yay. But number 2, is your body responding to them properly? I have to look at your white blood cell differentials. We should see monocytes, eosinophils, and basophils. If all 3 are elevated, now I'm really worried. And if I see organic acid markers for an inability to detox, methylmalonic acid, if I see allotonin or benzoic acids are high, then I'm worried about a leaky gut. So I need the whole picture. But in the grand scheme of things, I gave 3 concepts. At-home parasite detoxing. A cup of pumpkin seeds consumed every day, or ground into a butter and consumed every day. A teaspoon of food-grade diatomaceous earth in a glass of water consumed every day. And using the anti-parasitic herbs, black walnut hull, clove oil, oregano oil. That's a basic protocol. So basic protocol. 1 glass of water with a teaspoon of diatomaceous earth. Food grade, it must be food grade. A cup of pumpkin seeds consumed raw, unsalted ideally, or those blended into a paste called pumpkin seed butter. And then also, ready? Oh, I don't have the mic for that. Where's the box? We brought it in here. Here it is. And then what you do, sorry Instagram, I'm going to turn on my mic. I totally forgot to turn the Instagram mic on. So it's connecting now. Okay, so, and then you would use black walnut hull, oregano oil, and clove oil. Now, you're going to ask me, well, how much of those should I use? I have no idea because I don't know your numbers. Now, let's go deeper now, deeper. Lauricidin, lauric acid can be taken. It's in a product called monolaurin or lauricidin, 3 teaspoons a day, every day for 45 days. Then you can use something we have called Bioterrain Mend. It is the black walnut and all the clove and the oregano into a capsule. And you can use something that we have called Biofilm EO, which is designed to break down the parasitic biofilms, okay? Those products, though, you have to send labs over so we can verify what you have. And then why we got kicked off last night is I talked about ivermectin, fenbendazole, and methbendazole. So I'm not going to talk about those today because then this stream is going to get kicked off. But just know it's available. So whoever's asked that question, go to my website, click on consult, it's free, and let's set up a phone call so we can chat. AskDrErnst.com, and then straight to the website.
Okay, one more. Is secondary adrenal insufficiency curable?
Secondary adrenal insufficiency, yes. If you're talking, if you're talking adrenal fatigue stage 2, yes. If you're talking medical grade adrenal insufficiency, Cushing's, much more complicated, but still yes. Those are questions, so I'm just going to answer it. Yes. Now they're going to ask how, because they didn't ask that the first time. But yes, okay, so listen, a lot of times conditions that you've been told don't exist, it's only because the medical community doesn't acknowledge adrenal fatigue disorders. There are 4 stages of adrenal fatigue, stage 1, 2, 3, and 4. Think of it as burnout, like the toast, it's crispy. Then you have stress response, then you have an enlightened response, then you have like the heightened response. So we have 4 stages of adrenal stress syndromes, excuse me, or we have medical diagnostic adrenal failure. That's very severe. Cushing's, where they can't even secrete cortisol or they can't do the mineralocorticoids and stuff like that. Wow, Facebook, you guys went super quiet on us. Like, I don't see very many comments. How's YouTube doing?
Yes, Dr. Ernst,
How please medical? Way more complicated, okay? Medical grade stage 2 adrenal insufficiency. I need to see tests, and I need 3 things. I need to know the integrity of your T12L1 nerve root, because that's the nerve that goes to the adrenal glands. I need an entire adrenal workup. That's a hair test plus a fasting full hormone profile. So pregnenolone, DHEA, cortisol, both the alpha and the betas. I offer this to our patients. So whoever asked that question, who was it?
Putnam for Jesus.
What's that again?
Putnam for Jesus.
Putnam for Jesus. Love it. You need to go to my website, AskDrErnst.com, click on the word free consultation. Let's have a chat. You need way more labs done to find the root cause of the adrenal insufficiency, which we can do. I mean, we can do that. How's Instagram doing for questions?
None.
I can see Facebook. Man, it's like super quiet. We have a lot of people online
YouTube
though.
is doing great.
YouTubers, woo, go YouTube. I love our YouTubers, but I also love our Facebookers and I love our Instagrammers. So, so the parasite problem, while I talk until we have another question, is this. Most people think parasites are something you only get when you travel to other countries or you eat tainted lettuce. And here's what I'm going to explain. In 2026, this year, they announced an mRNA vaccine is being developed for parasites. Guys, an mRNA vaccine for parasites is being developed in 2026. What do you think they're going to do for all of 2026? They're going to kind of propagandally freak us out about parasites. So not only are you going to see Taco Bell's lettuce could give you this parasite and you're going to have the runs, but they're going to start showing you places you can get parasitic infections from and how devastating the symptoms are. Excuse me. And then they're going to want you to get freaked out so that in 2027, when they announce this new vaccine, I need some water. Can you give me some water? When you announce a new vaccine, what they're going to do is they're going to say, now, we have this now, right? All of a sudden, we have this new vaccine. They've been developing the vaccine since 2007. I have research. I talked about this during my event last night. There's research to show in 2007, they knew parasites were a problem. They knew it causes heart disease, diabetes, Parkinson's, MS, Alzheimer's, and cancers. And they knew that if the American public would freak out, that they could develop a vaccine and you guys would line up for it. The problem is an mRNA vaccine is extremely dangerous. We learned this with the COVID vaccine, and you're now going to see it with the new up-and-coming mRNA parasite vaccine. Just wait 6 months, wait a year, and what you're going to see is all the commercials, the announcements. Oh my God, parasites are everywhere. It's the new plague. You can't even avoid them. You can get them just by going to lunch with your friends at a restaurant. But if you have this vaccine, you'll be protected. Do you see it? They're trying to cram this mRNA crap down your throats. Thank you for the water.
You're welcome.
And it's a big problem. It's a big, big problem. All right. Wow, Facebook. Come on, Facebook. Where are our comments?
Well, I had something written down that I wanted to talk to you about.
Okay, let's do it. So try to be kind of like loud when you ask your question so that they can hear you. Or here, let's put a mic on you.
Never mind. I think we did talk about that.
Okay, what was it?
Did I ask you about like ADHD in kids?
Lightly you did.
Yeah.
Okay, so Aliona is asking a question since none of you are. What is the deal with ADHD in kids? Here's the crazy thing. A is attention, D, deficit, H, hyperactivity, D, disorder. So in the long run, all kids are supposed to be hyperactive. They're curious. They want to learn stuff. The problem is we have a school system that's structured to say, sit down, stare straight, pay attention, read this book, write this stuff, and children today are being forced into a model that I don't believe should be the way school is. It's just me now. So you take a Jake, you take a Jack, a John, a Jimmy, I'm coming up with J names, a Jesus, and you sit them down and you say, when they're 4, sit still. Good luck with that. Look straight ahead. Be quiet and read this book. The kids that are like this, they get labeled as being hyperactive. But in reality, they're not. They're just kids. They're acting normal. So that's the biggest problem, number 1. Number 2, unless you have a diagnostic test that shows that norepinephrine, epinephrine, serotonin, and dopamine are off balance, then it's just a normal kid doing normal kid things. So my kids started off in a Montessori school, and if you know this, they let them do whatever they want. But they have a teacher who watches. So if my son is dumping some sort of blocks onto the floor, she won't yell at him for doing it. She's going to come over and be like, hey, can you organize those by smallest to largest, please? And guess what the kids do? Yeah. And then do. And then they're like, all right, now can you put them back where you found them? And he's like, sure. That's Montessori. So a Montessori system would say kinetic learning and kinetic movement is a method of how some people learn. Now, you had my daughter, on the other hand, who would sit with a canvas at 5 and for 6 straight hours would paint. So they weren't like, hey, you need to stop doing that. They would encourage it. But while they're painting, they're like, can we read a story to you? Or could you do this at the same time? So kinetic learning is a massive new thing. But now my kids are no longer in Montessori, so the problem is they're in private schools. But even the private schools are saying what? Sit still, pay attention, look straight ahead. That's why I'm kind of like, I kind of want to pull them, but I also don't. Does that make sense? Now, if your question is, well, what if I have a psychologist or a psychiatrist who says my kid has this condition? I would still challenge it. Me personally, I would run an organic acids urine profile because the markers that are available can help me read brain functionality. We can read neurotransmitters of the brain. Sorry for the coughing, guys. It just came about. I just did a whole interview and I didn't cough once, and now I'm coughing like crazy. Okay, we have 8 minutes.
Is that similar with like, not similar, but never mind, it's not similar at all. Talk about depression and like anxiety, and then
so depression and anxiety. Depression and anxiety. Okay, well there's 3 layers behind depression and anxiety. So let's talk someone who's just normal. They're not depressed nor are they anxious. They're in a state of just peace in the moment. Okay, the hard part is being in the moment. So what is depression? Okay, from a 4th dimensional spiritual perspective, depression is a stronghold over someone's mind where they can't stay in the moment. So where are they? They're in the past. They're stuck in the past. Most people who are really depressed, you'll hear them say like, back in the day when this happened, this hurt me and I can't let go of my past pain. Past pain's stuck in past pain. Do you remember when you did this to me? And then from the past, that's depression. Anxiety is this. Oh my God, like what if? What if I get on an airplane and we all die? What if the future is bad? So a depressive patient is remember the past which was bad? And an anxious patient or person is what if the future? What if people say what if a lot, that's anxiety. If people say, well, do you remember? Don't you recall? That's depression from a presence. Because if you're in the now, if you're in the moment, the past is the past and the future hasn't happened. You're just living in the now. The problem is most people who live in the now, and I'm going to say this with love, to everyone else, we're weird. They're like, aren't you worried about the future? We're like, no. Don't you remember the past? We're like, I do, but I'm not going to let it affect me today. When you live in the now, you just are. You're neither depressed nor anxious. You just are. And I know that's a little tough concept. But are there hormones that can push you one direction or the other? Absolutely. There's specific patterns we see neurotransmitter-wise in depressed patients that is different than anxious patients. Anxiety patients are usually high epinephrine, high norepinephrine, so they're always like, because they're on overdrive. Depressed patients are usually very low dopamine and very low serotonin. Dopamine is your reward hormone. So a depressed patient's like, or a person's always like, I just really don't care about anything. But someone with good dopamine is like, ooh, hey, do you want to, what? They're excited. Serotonin is your feel-good hormone. So depressed patients, do they feel good? I keep saying patient. Sorry, guys, I'm a physician. Depressed people, do they feel good? No. They're like, I feel like I don't want to do it because their serotonin is low. Now, anxiety person usually has high serotonin because like, oh my God, but they're always worried about stuff. And how you know you have anxiety? What if I got struck by lightning on the way home and I died? That's an anxious person. A depressed person is like, remember when I got struck by lightning? That sucks. Don't you remember that? Like, look at all the pain I'm in. A now person is like, I don't really care. What if you got struck by lightning? I would deal with it when it happens. What if a plane crashes? I'll deal with it when it happens. I'm not going to worry because God has my back, right? I'm in the now.
How do you go about like treating it? Like, so, not to have to take antidepressants or anxiety meds.
So, how do we treat depression or anxiety holistically? Is that what you're asking? So we don't treat the condition at all. Okay, so you'll never go to a functional physician and have them say, yes, you're depressed. You have a diagnosis of depression. We go, no. That is not who you are. Do not accept the label. Let's find out why you feel that way. So step number 1 is you have to tear the label off. You don't have ADD, ADHD. You don't have that. You just think you do. Number 2, we test you to find out why you are feeling the way you are. So if someone is depressed and they have super low serotonin and super low dopamine, our first statement will be, well, do you know where those hormones come from? What could you do naturally to lift dopamine and lift serotonin? They come from your gut. So depressed people usually have a leaky gut. Okay, so we start addressing gut health. And we don't play around with their medications at all to start. So we're like, stay on them for now. But now watch this. If I am not depressed and I'm not anxious, but I take an anti-anxiety medication, what would happen to me? I would become depressed. So if I don't have anxiety and I take an anti-anxiety drug, I will be depressed. Now, if I'm not depressed and I take a depression drug, I will become anxious. Do you see it?
Yeah.
So once a depressed patient is becoming anxious, we know they're getting healthier. I know it's nuts. And we're like, okay, time to cut the depression meds down. Once an anxiety patient is becoming depressed, we're like, whoa, time to get off the meds. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
You build the foundation, you get them so healthy that they overreact to their meds, and then we have to work with their prescribing physician to say, hey, start weaning them off the whatever they're on.
Interesting. So, I'm asking because a lot of
Guys, you realize Aliona is asking more questions than you are. Shame on all of you. Shame on Facebook, shame on YouTube, shame on Instagram, but keep asking your questions then.
No, like just the lymphatic patients we've been having come in.
Uh-huh.
A lot of them are just depression.
Well, okay, so what Aliona said is, in my clinic, we have something called the Lymphatic Reset Program, which is where we work on the lymph of your body. So why are people who are full of lymph depressed? Is that what you're saying? Innately? You're noticing a trend. A lot of our patients who come in for the lymphatic program also say, well, I deal with depression or anxiety. So lymph is a third fluid system. So we have blood, system 1, spinal fluid, system 2, lymph, system 3. When you're full of lymph, it's because either your kidneys aren't working properly or your gut isn't working properly. So you fill up with all this fluid, and that excess fluid gets into your brain. And in your brain, lymphatic congestion shuts off hormone production. So the receptors that should deal with serotonin, they don't work. So why are they depressed? Because the lymph, the excess fluid, is blocking the ability for the neurotransmitters to fire properly.
Interesting.
So we end up with either depression or anxiety based on which neurotransmitter it is. If it's serotonin, it's depression. If it's norepinephrine, epinephrine, it's anxiety. It's so simple. It's just, most of you have never had a real hormone map done. It takes 24 hours. You collect your urine about 6 or 7 times. We send it to a lab, and I know every hormone in your body and how it works. Everything from pregnenolone to DHEA to cortisol to testosterone to the 6 estrogens. You map it out, and you can look at it now and go, oh, this isn't depression. This is the neural hormonal pathway that will lead to that feeling of depression. You're not depressed. It's just your hormones are out of balance. Fix your hormones, depression goes away. Fix your hormones, anxiety goes away. Learn how to live in the now, and you can fight the sensations of that.
Interesting.
I was told by my pastor that the devil is in the details. The devil is in the anxiety. That's him whispering, going, hey, what if your husband's cheating on you? What if you're going to go financially broke? That's the devil. And then ready? Remember when they did that to you and how bad that felt? That's depression. Remember when? Depression. What if? Anxiety. God is in the now. Find the God in every moment now, and you will find your depression, your anxiety leave. Live in the now. The problem is now is now. Now. 5 seconds ago, past. Now. The problem with now is it's now. But now, like now. Do you get it? Live now. Not now. Now. Nope. Now. Try it again. Now. Like 5 seconds ago, don't worry about it. Now. 3 seconds in the future, don't worry about it. Now. Get it? Right now. It's hard because now is now. Now is now.
Put for Jesus says, wow, I didn't realize the connection to lymph and neurotransmitters. Thank you so much, Doctor.
Yes, and then Angela, finally, somebody on Facebook said, is the hormone that you're talking about called a Dutch? It used to be a Dutch, and the Dutch is really good, but I don't use the Dutch test anymore because my lab down in Florida, we cloned the Dutch, and I added a bunch of extra tests to it, so I get a much better panel. We use what's called the 24-hour male and female hormone profile from my lab, mine in Florida. It's called Physician's Lab. Cindy Carter says, what causes and is good for high homocysteine? Okay, homocysteine builds up when your MTHFR gene cannot clear it. We have a gene called MTHFR. It secretes an enzyme. That enzyme's job is to get rid of homocysteine. So if you have a mutation, like most people do, of the MTHFR gene, you will have high homocysteine levels. So how do we get rid of high homocysteine levels? You have to take a homocysteine binder and an MTHFR enhancer, not methylated B vitamins. This is what everybody gets wrong. They're like, I take methylated B vitamins, I'm good, my homocysteine will come down. No, it won't. You need the B vitamins, but you need the enzyme. So my company, Eterna, has a product called MethylMend. Hear it? MethylMend. We want to fix your methylation. And so we use that. MethylMend can lower homocysteine over time. And so you need to change your diet. You need to stop eating foods that are pro-inflammatory. Wheat, corn, rice, soy, oats, and dairy. And you'll see if you do that combined with MethylMend, the homocysteine levels will come down. Are there any more questions? Because we've gone over by 2 minutes. Nope. What a great show. I'm so sorry. I don't know why my throat is doing this, but 30 minutes goes by fast, guys. So remember, every Tuesday, 9:30 to 10, Q&A with the Ask Dr. Ernst Show. And you're going to love this Saturday, guys. I have an exceptional guest. Dr. Ron from Cerviguard, the CEO, is going to teach you why all of you should wear a Cerviguard for 20 minutes. You sat through our pre-interview. It's phenomenal. So we're going to go live Saturday at 3 p.m. on what is a Cerviguard and why should it be in your home and why should you use it every day. Thanks, guys. If anybody has any questions afterwards, I'll use the Q&A comments to talk about that. So Debbie, I just saw you send that in, but I can't answer it right now. We'll answer it on the comments in wherever you commented from. So hey, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, keep asking questions even though we shut the camera off. My team and myself will answer them all for you.